Hello, Kimu SDC with you here today, and I would like to start it off with a PLH. Peace, love, and happiness all day, every day. And today I want to talk about what meditation is. When I say meditation, what do you think about? You you probably think about you probably visualize somebody sitting Indian style with their hands resting on their knees, with their palms face up. That's probably what most people will visualize. I know before I started meditation, that's what I thought. But most people, number one, don't even know what meditation means. Meditation is nothing but forcing your mind, to focus on one thing. So, with that being said, there are two forms of meditation. There's a formal form, and then there's also an informal way of meditating. And first, the formal meditation basically encompasses your environment, whether you have your incense going, you got a candle burning, you got some essential oils. You've created an atmosphere that is conducive to meditation. You're using scents that will not distract you from the main purpose of you meditating. And you also have your posture. Your posture it varies because you can meditate while in the yoga pose. Pretty often when I start my day, I always start my day with, at least within that first hour, with meditation. And so meditating, I sit Indian, what we know as Indian style. And that's just my preference. But another posture that you can use in formal meditation, besides Indian style and any type of yoga pose, is sitting in a chair with your back straight and your knees, your legs at a right angle, in which and your feet flat on the ground. That way your back is aligned, and that way the energy can flow in a nice straight line all throughout your body. And then there's another pose in which you could just be lying. You could just be lying. You could be lying in bed. You could be lying on the floor. But it's basically lying somewhere as if you're lifeless. And in so doing, me personally, when I meditate, I like to focus on goals that I wish to achieve, where I see myself at a certain point in time, what I wish to accomplish throughout the day. I also like to, in that session, do some Kundalini meditation, which basically focuses on your life energy and your chakras, 7 chakras. So I like to basically get all the energy into myself, get it all into one, so that way throughout the day I don't feel lethargic or anything like that. And that's just my experience. Other things that I focus on in my meditation area, I have a piece of earth, which they're my healing stone bracelets, and also a chakra necklace. I also have water, a glass of water. I have either incense or a candle, which will represent fire. But one piece that I don't have, and that's because it's pretty much all around us, is air. And I like to keep those in order because it helps me remember that I am all of those elements in one. which is also the first Hermetic principle, all is one. So with that formal meditation, I try my best to always have my back aligned, and so doing, it allows all the energy to flow nicely throughout my body. But to go into the other form of meditation, which is informal meditation, which most people don't really know about, that can be done anywhere, at any time, in any place, in whichever way you wish to do so. For example, when I do informal meditation, and usually it's mindful meditation, also known as mindfulness, that's basically me focusing on one task that I'm doing and focusing mainly on one sense. So, for example, if I'm listening to music, or I'm listening to a video on YouTube, or even somebody speaking to me while I'm driving or I'm on the phone, sometimes I'll close my eyes, because sometimes when we're trying to listen, our sight alters the way that we hear things, because those are the two most primal senses that we have: our sight and our hearing. So, in so doing, I like to close my eyes and sometimes listen to the birds chirp, or even sometime, or just focus on what the person is saying, or even the sounds that are being created within my atmosphere, whether it's the wind blowing, whether it's birds chirping, squirrels making their noises, leaves blowing, anything of that sort. I also like to do informal meditation when I'm eating. So saying that, most people just consume food, but I personally like to actually eat and enjoy my food. I chew my food, but while I'm doing the action of chewing, I'm also tasting my food, making sure that I can differentiate at my best the different flavors, the different foods that are maybe in my smoothie, maybe in my vegan milkshake, maybe just on my plate, period. So that's another form. And another one that I like to do is smell and sight. Those are other ones in which those pretty much revolve around the same concept of just focusing on the one sense, so that you are able to just enjoy, for smell, a candle or incense; for sight, maybe you're just enjoying, for example, I'm looking at the camera, I'm just focused on the camera. Or maybe you could be focused on what you're saying. That helps also. So, but those are just tuning into completely my senses, which I do every day. But also, if you're a runner, you can be using informal meditation, in which you focus on your breathing pattern, trying to make sure that you're continuously breathing in a specific rhythm, so that way you don't tire yourself out quicker. Or you can be focused on your stride. Your goal might be trying to widen your stride, so that way you cover more distance and use less energy in a certain period of time. That's a type of meditation. Maybe you're focused on, maybe you're walking and you're focused on how aligned your spine is. That's the type of meditation. So there are different types of ways to informally meditate. You don't just have to be in a formal setting where you have a specific area just for meditating, and you have a certain posture. You've created a certain atmosphere that's conducive to you meditating, and you just basically block yourself off away from everything else. Because I know when I really started getting into meditation about 2 years ago, I started off with Kundalini meditation, which I focused on my chakras, focused on trying to open my chakras and align and get the energy flowing throughout. And that was my form of meditation. And I had some music playing in the background, but the music was just to create the atmosphere, like I've been saying. But I was more so focused on my chakras, how the energy was flowing throughout my body. And of course, it takes practice, it takes time, because in the society that we're in now, it's so hard to focus on just one thing. It's so hard to even focus on yourself. We're more so focused on the external that we focus less on the internal. And people, what I just said, and I'm going to repeat it again, we're focused so much on the external, everything that's around us, other people, what other people even think about us, that we lack focus on the internal, ourselves. How do we feel? How are we reacting to certain situations? Being conscious of how I'm feeling about a certain situation. Just things of that sort. So when you become more conscious of those things, when you train your mind to be more conscious of those things, you begin it. At first, it's hard because you're like, I know I deal with people who they're always thinking about certain things and therefore they worry. But if you're a little bit more if you meditate on that, you focus on how you're responding to a certain stimuli or stimulus, you then get in a groove of realizing, okay, maybe I can respond to situations like this in another manner. But also, as I began to progress in my meditative habits, I began to be able to meditate on the trolley. And every time I was going to my internship, I would be on the trolley, and maybe I would have music, have my earbuds in, or maybe I wouldn't. But I'd be staring out the window, but I wouldn't be exactly seeing what was outside the window. I was more so focused on my mind. What was going on up in here, trying to make sure that all my energy was aligned. I was focused on myself, on my energy. And I remember when I was speaking to my mom one day, and she was like, I started telling her that I'm getting in the habit of meditating and things of that nature. And she was like, "Oh, well, where do you meditate?" And I said, "Well, sometimes I come home and I meditate in the bedroom on the bed, or sometimes I meditate on the floor." And then I said, "Even I meditate when I'm going to work on the trolley." She was like, "Huh? How do you do that?" Like, and I said, and this was when I started getting into the habit of meditating. I literally would think about the one thing that brings my mind at peace. And for me, peace was just envisioning what the universe looked like. Yes, I don't, or what the galaxy looked like. Just the different colors, the different hues. That was peaceful to me. And of course, everyone's visual of peace is going to be different. Maybe yours is looking at the sunset. Maybe is looking at a stream and with a bunch of trees around it. Whatever your vision of peace is, that's what I would suggest you focus on when you start getting into the habit of meditating, just to ease your mind and create that atmosphere within yourself, not external. Create the atmosphere within yourself